All right, today we're going to talk about lowballers and how to handle a lowball budget request when they come in. I've said many times, if you're not walking away from work on a regular basis, you are not paying attention, right? Lowball clients and lowball rates happen all the time. If you're getting sufficient opportunities, you're going to get some of these, and it would behoove you to know how to handle them. I'm going to give you a couple of examples today of what a lowballer looks like when it comes in the door when you get one of these requests, and also how to handle them so that you treat this person with kindness and respect, give them all the benefit of the doubt, and still leave the door open for possible future work. Okay, just because you get lowball requests or lowball budgets in your inbox doesn't mean that you're bound to take the work. I book within standard GVAA rates. If you don't have that rate guide, I'll put the link in the description below. If you do have that rate guide and you're quoting GVAA rates, then you're in good shape anyway. Occasionally, you're still going to get a lowballer client come in your inbox, right? So here's a couple of examples. I'm going to give you the examples, I'm going to give you a little bit of context around them, and then I'm going to tell you how I responded so that you have a little bit of ammunition for your own. Example number 1. This is from a production studio. Hi, Paul. Attached is a script sample for reference. Our client asked if you could audition. There are specs directly on the script. We believe we will have somewhere between 15 and 21 total scripts. They are all market-specific based on brand. The brands are, and I've redacted the brands here, but there are 9 brands, a mix of local, regional, and national. The rate for the first script is $500, and each additional script is $200. Kind of odd that they would phrase it that way. That tells me how they're batching scripts together. They didn't say the rate for brand X was $500, and the rate for the others was an additional $200 each. There are 2 levels of rates here, $500 and $200, and yet we've got local, regional, and national brands, 3 tiers of ad buys going on. So that's a little odd to begin with. Usage, radio/buyout. Would you be able to audition right away and email back so the client can hear your voice? Thanks, best. Prospect name redacted, of course. I won't give you their name. Okay, so there's a couple of things going on here. One is the usage, radio/buyout. We will talk about that in just a second. Here's how I responded. Thanks so much, prospect name. I appreciate you sending this over. I book within standard non-union GVAA rates. 1. The usage is vague. Local, regional, national, ? 2, I do not ever do buyouts on paid placement ads because this creates a perpetual conflict. If you or your client are willing to put a term, 1 year, 5 years, etc., and can clearly define the usage, I'll be happy to discuss. Thanks a million for keeping me in mind. Have a great week. Best, Paul. Okay, let me make this point pellucidly clear. Buyouts in perpetuity for paid placement ads are bad news. You might be saying, well, Paul, you just passed up maybe a few $1,000s here, $3,300 to maybe $4,700 based on the number of scripts and the rates. And while that's true, what I really passed up was locking myself into multiple categories in this case by taking this work. Here's what I mean by that. Let's say one of these brands is an ice cream, okay? And let's say I do this work and I sign away perpetual paid placement rights to those recordings. And let's say 5 years from now, Ben & Jerry's comes to me and they're looking for a new national voice, right? They want me to audition. I can't even audition, at least not in good conscience, because it would be unprofessional of me because I know I've got a perpetual conflict in the ice cream category. Here's the distinction that most people miss. It doesn't matter that Joe's Ice Cream doesn't want me exclusively for this work, right? It doesn't matter if they're asking me for exclusivity or not. Once I sign on for paid placement ads, now I've got a category conflict. It means that Ben & Jerry's down the road is never going to use me if I'm already the voice of another ice cream brand, another brand in their category. This is what people always forget. It doesn't matter what the client that wants to sign you wants in terms of exclusivity. What matters is you're locking yourself out of the category in perpetuity, and that's a problem. All right, example number 2. This is from an advertising agency, which, by the way, has been in business for over 30 years. Hi, Paul. I need demos very quickly for a 30-second TV edit this day of the week, right? Demo script attached, spots, 30 seconds, plus 2 tags and or one-liners. 15 OTT. OTT stands for over the top. Things like Hulu, YouTube, CBS streaming, all the digital streaming networks, right? Over the top TV. The market, 1 local market. The run, 2 weeks. The client, redacted for obvious reasons. But they do say that the voiceover is for A/B testing. Type, 30 to 35-ish year old male, fun, upbeat, guy next door. Please let me know if you cannot audition. Call my office or cell if you have questions. Thanks, prospect named redacted. So what's missing in this particular example? Did you catch it? The budget, right? The budget is nowhere to be found. That's not a good sign. Usually that means that's an indicator that, they already know that it's a lowball budget. So I asked. The response came back, $225 total. Just as I thought. Here was my response. Thanks so much, prospect name. I appreciate you getting back to me. I book within standard professional non-union GVAA rates. In this case, my rates for a 30-second local broadcast TV spot, $450, a 15-second OTT spot, $450, and 2 local TV tags, $300 times 2, totals $1,550. While I try to be flexible, I don't work for 15 cents on the dollar. Thanks a million for keeping me in mind. If anything in the future comes up that might be a fit, I'd be happy to audition. Have a great week. Best to you, Paul. I always try and give people the benefit of the doubt. Every project has budget constraints, whether it's a pro rate or not, right? We don't always know what those constraints are. They might not even be the fault of the person that's reaching out to you. It could be a client constraint with their client. We just don't know. There's no reason to treat people unkindly or disrespectfully just because they're a lowballer. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Give them a very professional response. Quote objective third-party rates when you can so that your client knows that you're not pulling the rates out of thin blue air and you're not taking advantage of them, right? And you can rest assured that you're giving them a fair rate. You're never turning a 15 cents on the dollar client into a 100 cents on the dollar client. It's just not going to happen. And the last point here is don't waste a ton of time chasing bad business. Every lowball deal you spend more time on robs you of time that you would spend finding a pro client. If you found this video helpful, like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Also check out the Move, Touch, Inspire newsletter at paulschmidtpro.com. I'll put the link in the description below. Thanks so much, and we'll see you soon.